Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Before we jump into today's video where we are planting a ton of gorgeous annuals preparing for the wedding, we are going to announce all the recipients for the thank you gifts of us hitting 100,000 subscribers. That's right. Remember, we did this video where we wanted to give you, our sweet subscribers, 4 different thank you gift bundles. So here we go. Right here, my friends, we have the 4 winners of the recipients of all 4 of the bundles. So what I need you to do, if you see your name listed here, it also will tell you which bundle that you won. If you will please email us at the email below. It is orders@gardeningwithcreekside.com. That way we can go ahead and begin our conversation of how we can get you your lovely thank you gifts. As always, we just so appreciate all of your love and support. Obviously, this channel would be nothing without you, and we are so absolutely excited and grateful to hit this mark with you. I hope you enjoy these gifts as much as I do, because these are things that I use on a regular basis. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Y'all enjoy. Now, enjoy the video where Jerry and I installed over 300 annuals here in the backyard getting ready for Alyssa's wedding. All right, my friends, enjoy. Bye. Good morning, my friends. Welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to continue 2 days in a row of the annual planting, preparing for this spring wedding that we are going to be hosting at the end of May. Yesterday we put in the Supertunia Vista Snowdrift here along, created a whole wave of the snowdrifts right there. So today we are going to be focusing our attention on the 2 back beds. That's right, the island beds here in the backyard. Jerry and I are going to be working as a duo again today with our supporting friend Brenna as the cheerleader. We've got a couple of things happening. One, it's going to start raining this afternoon, so we're racing against the clock on that. 2, we have a nice size delivery coming of shrubs, perennials, all that kind of stuff for the garden center after lunch. So we're trying to get done with this before the rain starts and the truck comes. So we are moving with purpose today. Before I show you where the plants are going to go and what we're going to do, let me show you the plants. We have 3 beautiful annuals that are going to be perfect for this late spring wedding that we are hosting. I have them here in front of the garden shed, and yes, this really is a garden shed. You can see all of my different, containers and things that I will be using throughout the season. That's what that is back there. Now, let's focus on the plants, my friends. Now, our friend Alyssa, who works with us, who has been an employee of ours for several years, is getting married. The reception is going to be back here in the back of the house. These are the kind of the colors that she loves, and so this is what we're going to go with. Several of these have been repeated throughout the garden, so we're trying to tie in this whole space together. The tallest of these annuals is going to be her favorite annual. This is the Aramance Mulberry Nemesia. Relatively new to the Proven Winner Nemesia line. It smells delicious and has just a really fun, plum colored flowers on it. It will be my tallest one, 10 to 18 inches tall. And then if you look on the back of the Proven Winner tag, it tells you your spacing, which could be anywhere from 8 inches to 10 inches. I really don't know how the design is going to go in this bed, but this is what we are going to use. We have about 80 or 90 of these that we can incorporate. Just a lovely spring fragrance, nice. I can't describe how Nemesia smells, but it does have quite a delicious fragrance. Remember, we have this same plant in both the Weston urns on the patio. We have them in planters. I have them on the window box here at the garden shed. So it's all tying in together. My low spreader is going to be the White Knight Alyssum. And White Knight is the most vigorous of the sweet Alyssums within the Proven Winners lines. It is a pure white flower, and the minimum spacing is 12 inches. So anywhere from 12 to 18 inches, this baby spreads. And it is a very vigorous plant, as you can probably see from just how it's growing in the container here. It does, for me, I have found in my personal garden, it does best when it's cooler and nice and damp. So to be perfect in the spring, y'all, this plant smells amazing. It has the most lovely, sweet, delicate fragrance, and it is just gorgeous. This will basically form a carpet in front of the nemesias and the new campfire marshmallow. This is such a sweet little plant. It reminds me of little miniature daisies, and there is a whole campfire line within Proven Winners. Marshmallow is new this year. We trialed it last year in our gardens. It did great, but you can just see just these sweet little daisy-like flowers on it, pure white flowers with the yellow center. Campfire marshmallow is just a great one, 8 to 14 inches tall, so it'd be a little bit shorter than the nemesia. And then my plant spacing is anywhere, minimum is 10 inches, max is 16. So we have 160 of these because we knew that this was going to be a big planting for the wedding. So we got a lot of these to do in mass. It is going to be such a fun project to look at when it's over, but getting it in the ground is going to be, like I said, just because of our time crunch, it's going to be a little, not stressful. I don't want to use the word stressful because gardening should not be stressful. Intense, maybe that would be the word. So where are we going to put them? Back here on the backyard beds, we have on each of the corners of the beds, we have allocated the space to be for annuals, and that's what we have always done since the beds were put in. So we have a huge area right in here that we will go ahead and incorporate them into. I have perennials in here, I have shrubs in here. You might be able to see the sticks that are right here. This is a summerific hibiscus. It is the Valentine's Crush, which is a columnar red, nice rich red flower on it. It will not be blooming for the wedding. We'll have green structure, but there will not be any blooms. So I don't have to worry about a color contrast on that. So we can really fill this in right here. What we are going to do, because just like we talked about with you when we did the Vista Snowdrifts, is these areas are always going to be annual beds. And with your annual beds, we have found great success when we heavily amend the soil. It requires less work on us in the long run because I'm not having to be out here with water-soluble fertilizer just feeding them constantly, because they're getting the food from all of that rich organic material that we add into the beds. What we're going to do is we're going to pull back the hardwood mulch just like we did with the snowdrifts. Jerry is going to be bringing our bulk compost over that we use, and we're going to really build up this bed. So where those annuals are going to go, we're going to raise it up and make it nice and thick and delicious for these plants to succeed. Of course, we will use our Biotone starter fertilizer for strong, healthy roots, and then we will go ahead and put down some of the Proven Winners time release fertilizer, because that is what fills in any kind of gaps as far as food. The temperatures go up, it starts releasing food, and the plants are going to be very happy. I would not say that these plants are really heavy feeders like your petunias. Yes, they benefit from food, but not, excuse me, not that massive amount that the snowdrifts need. So between the compost amended soil, the Biotone, and the time release fertilizer, I doubt I'm going to have to be out here water soluble fertilizing heavily on that. So this is probably the biggest spot right here that is going to hold those annuals. The wedding reception is going to be right back here. The tent will be set up back here, and so this whole entire area is going to be under high visibility for the wedding. So we've got mass planting here. We've got all sorts of perennials and things right here. We got to do a little bit of moving and grooving, my friends. So we're going to relocate the unique stone sundial. And so I don't know exactly where it's going to go for now. It might just be taken out of the bed and then we incorporate it later. But we want more real estate right here. Plus, the sundial is directly in front of one of my fairy trail brides, which seems to be doing really well, so we don't want to hide that. So we're going to move this, put it somewhere else, and then I have 3 of, this is the Cheyenne Sky grass from Proven Winners. These are perennial grasses. We're also going to relocate these. I love this grass, and it's a great grass, but again, I want more real estate in this area, so we're going to go ahead and dig them up. Again, it may be one of those things that we just kind of put off to the side, and then we figure out later where they're going to go. The daylily, I think the daylily is going to go as well. So we're going to dig her up, relocate her. Maybe she'll go up to the chicken coop, right? And maybe the Cheyenne Sky. We'll just figure that out. That's not the high priority today. We're going to get these guys out so that we can then incorporate them into other areas. Now, coming on over here by the birdhouse, kind of the same thing. It's a little bit of a less area. We have phlox right here. So this little swoosh right here is where we will be planting the annuals. The butterfly bush, of course, is going to stay. We have another summerific Valentine's crush behind the birdhouse. It'll be just fine, but we can really come around here because a lot of the guests will probably be coming from the nursery where the ceremony is. So they're going to be coming this way and coming in. So we want to kind of build up this area right in here because that's going to be their path as they walk in. So that's spot number 3. And then as we mosey on down this way, we have a whole nother area underneath the maple tree. So we will come over here again, do that same idea. I've got 2 Veronicas right here. They can stay, but starting right here really where the jonquils are, we can come here, come all the way around the tree, and then go on the back side as well. So the idea for today is mass plantings, big, huge impact, right? We want massive impact. We want this to be absolutely just magical for the wedding. Again, we're hosting a wedding, friends, so we are going big this year. You're going to notice us this year because of the wedding and then the signature experience at the end of June. We're going to be planting a lot of mass plantings, meaning maybe only choosing a couple of plants, but planting large numbers of them. When you're hosting an event, you have to sometimes garden maybe a little different than you do in a normal year. So this year is not quite normal. We've never hosted a wedding before, and I have a lot of self-imposed pressure. Like, I want this just to be magical for Alyssa and Nick. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to figure out, get the mulch pulled back, and then start bringing in that bulk compost. The prep work is going to be just as intense as the planting. So that's going to take up a lot of time. We're going to get it done. We have got the areas prepped as far as prepped for the compost. So what we did is, you saw we just pulled back the irrigation lines, went through one with the hard rake, got all the mulch pulled back, went back through with the leaf rake, cleaned up the edges. Of course, as I'm finding weeds here on the edges, we are getting those pulled clearly. I've got a couple more to come in here and do. And then, so this section is done. Went ahead and got the sundial moved. We got the grasses out. We got the daylily out. Threw those back in the back of Johnny. Not worried about the holes left over from the grasses in the daylily, because as Jerry adds in the compost, that will come. And then all of the other areas have been prepped as well. As you're going through, of course, 'tis the season for weeds. We are finding weeds left and right. The onions are quite prolific as always. I think we could start Creekside onion farm around here sometimes. But Jerry has the big landscape truck. It has a big like bed on the back. So he filled that up with the compost blend, threw down one side, and he is using the small bobcat that has tracks on it. That way it just kind of, as he says, floats across the grass and won't tear anything up. So we're gonna let him get the compost put down. Beautiful flower beds for these great annuals. It is about time to start laying out the plants and figure out our design. I've got all the compost in, got it nice and smoothed out. Each of the 4 beds got some biotone and then the time release fertilizer from Proven Winners. Jerry and Alyssa are here. Of course, Alyssa is the bride. I mean, nothing like asking the bride to help landscape her own wedding, but at least she'll love it because she'll did it herself. So here we go. What they're doing is just laying them out. The idea basically is, of course, is that the alyssum will be the border around the edges, and then the nemesia is, of course, what we have next. So we're thinking that it'll be kind of more of a single line and a curve through there. We really just don't even know, y'all. And then the Bidens, of course, will be the ones that fill in those big areas. So right now, just laying out the plants with the trays, and then we will come back through and kind of decide exactly on the layout. We'll go ahead and place the plants within the bed. That way, when we come through and drill the holes, it will not, we'll know exactly where we're gonna go. So each bed, it looks like, is getting kind of like, this bed has 2 alyssums, but everybody's gonna get kind of 4 Bidens, and just play around with it. Of course, none of the beds are the exact same size nor the same shape, but trying to repeat those plants through there. The only one that we're not going to have alyssum on is the far back corner. We're going to go ahead and use all the alyssum in these 3 main beds, and then the Bidens will be a nice big focal point down there, of course, with some of the Nemesia. So that's kind of what we're doing. It's just getting everybody laid out, figuring out exactly how the design wants to go, get everybody spaced out. Then we're going to use, of course, the Power Planter auger with Jenny's addition because it's that 5-inch. Perfect size for this is what we used with the snow drifts, and it worked amazing. So we'll do that, just get everybody in the ground, and then figure out the design as we go.
Sounds great.
Jerry says it sounds great. That's what we're going to do. My friends, today's project is complete, and oh my goodness, this was a humdinger of a project. It was massive. I am so incredibly grateful that Jerry partnered with me on this one, because if he hadn't, this would have taken me at least 2 days, if not 3 or 4, because holy moly, this was a lot of plants going in, but it looked so good. I'm actually standing up here on the wall right here off of the patio because I want you just to kind of see and get the big picture here of how it all looks together. Of course, the urns on each side of the seating wall are planted with the Nemesia, and then the flower beds. I don't know how the camera's picking up from a distance how they look, but y'all, I could not be happier with how everything is doing. The urns are filled with the Aromanth Mulberry Nemesia, and then inside is the Bright Lights Horizon Sunset Osteos. We have one beginning to bloom right there. So all of this will tie in together as we go here into the backyard. Just to give you a kind of an overview of how everything looks. The beds, which I absolutely love, they are not planted as far as the layout. None of them are the same. We wanted to kind of keep it different and switch it up. Alyssa came out here and just kind of as far as the design, I wanted to make sure that she was happy with it. And so we kind of did it together and did it kind of fun and funky. So for example, in the bed underneath the maple tree right here, we start with a nice big area of the campfire marshmallows, and then they come in to be right here. The white night alyssums, we did a double layer right here, so it'll be super, super thick. And then they, of course, go down to a single one down here in the back with the Aromanth mulberry and a mass planting right there as well. So when all of these beds are nice and full, there will not be any space that you can see the mulch, right? So we definitely went for the minimum spacing. It was the minimum spacing that we went between these plants because we want it nice and thick and full. After we were done planting, Jerry and I came back through and tucked in the irrigation lines. So they're in there, you just can't see them. For the next 3 beds, we have just kind of a single row of the white knight all the way around. But again, this kind of mimics that maple tree side of it, where we have the campfire marshmallow that starts nice and big right here and then comes down to a mass planting of the Aramance mulberry around and behind the bluebird house. So we've got that, and then backing up a little bit here for the next section, single row, white alyssum, campfire marshmallow, nice and thick, starts thin and then gets wider, super thick. And then the Nemesia is nice and around the base of the Hinoki Slender. Coming on over, we have got the last, but certainly not the least, underneath the cherry tree, single row of alyssum all the way around. And then again, thick of the campfire marshmallow, and then it wraps around and kind of bleeds in here to the Nemesia. So again, I love how all of this looks together. The whole bed, the whole backyard just looks phenomenal. You put in the snowdrift petunias right here, just gorgeous. Such a beautiful space. I cannot wait to watch this grow in and develop. As far as maintenance, on my end, we'll, of course, I really don't think we're gonna have to worry about watering anytime soon. Irrigation is not on because we are getting consistent rain. It is supposed to start tonight, it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, possibly the next day. So we are getting so much consistent rain. Not gonna have to worry about it. I'm very glad though, on the one hand, that it's gonna rain for the next couple of days, because that will really get these guys nice and watered in, nice and strong, so they will get nice and settled in and be very happy and then start growing. The Nemesias, of course, that you saw in the urns, you can see how nice and tight they are. So they are doing really well. And then the alyssum that I have in the window box and the container by itself right here at the garden shed, nice and tight, doing really well. So that's the great thing about growing annuals. When the cooler temperatures, they stay really tight, meaning they don't get leggy and open, and their habit is just really compact, shall we say. So that is a good thing. The only thing that we didn't do was put back the sundial, which honestly we're just too tired right now, so it can just hang out right there and be perfectly fine. The fountain, we don't have the fountain going yet. Yeah, there's just a lot of things going on right now, and just trying to get all the pieces together and get everything back up and running. I know some people are like, why don't you have the fountains going? Y'all, it's called time. It's a little thing called time. I don't have a lot of these days, so we're prioritizing getting these annuals in the ground, being able to get them in the ground, having Jerry to be able to help me. So those, you just got to go priorities, and we'll get the fountains up going as soon as we possibly can. But this has been a big job. We started early. It is 3 something in the afternoon, so it was definitely an all-day job, and so glad that we had each other to help each other out. But it looks gorgeous. I'm ready for Alyssa to see it as a final product. I know that she's gonna be very happy. All right, my friends, as always, we so appreciate you. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.